This is Season 11. 11 years ago, we were a group of unknowns fighting for survival in the 6th Division. Now, 10 years later, CY8FC has become one of the biggest clubs in the country. We have lifted 5 major trophies, countless unforgettable moments. And last season, we were so close to winning the Premier League title. But Wembley gave us redemption. Against our ultimate rivals, we lifted the FA Cup and brought another trophy home. The board was absolutely delighted with the progress. As a reward, they increased $7.5 million into the transfer budget. And we also received a $10 million bonus for winning the FA Cup. But before we could think about winning trophies, we faced an urgent crisis. Magic Mike had retired, hanging up his gloves as a legend, and Lamin's loan expired. We rushed to Paris to negotiate a permanent deal for the Belgian hero, who saved us in the FA Cup penalty shootout. Surely PSG would listen to a fair offer. But they didn't. Our offer was rejected instantly. According to PSG, they will only release Lamins if the price was astronomical. We needed a world-class goalkeeper. Then football gave us an unexpected opportunity. After decades of dominance, after countless trophies, after building one of the greatest dynasties football has ever seen, Pep Guardiola finally left Manchester City. A legendary era was over, and City moved quickly to find his successor. Enzo Maresca was appointed as the new manager, Pep's chosen heir, the next man to lead the Blue Empire. But nobody could have predicted Maresca's very first act in the office. He signed a younger goalkeeper and did the unthinkable. He benched Gianluigi Donnarumma. Maresca looked at a 36-year-old legend and decided he was finished, no longer part of the future, no longer good enough. He abandoned him. But class is permanent, and rage is a powerful motivator. Donnarumma was furious. He wasn't ready to retire. He wasn't ready to sit on the bench, and he certainly wasn't ready to be forgotten. So he made a call, not to another European giant, not to a Champions League contender. To us, he wanted out, and more importantly, he wanted revenge. Here we go. Gianluigi Donnarumma has officially joined CY8FC. Manchester City threw him away. They abandoned him. We embraced him. He arrives with one mission, to prove Maresca wrong. Maybe he's 36. Maybe his best years were supposedly behind him. But inside that giant frame still burns the fire of a world-class goalkeeper. This season is his chance to answer. We weren't done there. Martinelli arrived from Arsenal on loan to strengthen our attack. And then something happened nobody expected. Do you remember Jamie Evans, the man from Season 1? The legend of the infamous 1-minute red card. Well, he's back. Now a free agent. Evans decided there was only one place he wanted to spend the final chapter of his career, home. We offered him a contract immediately and welcomed him back to the club where it all began. Then came the perfect opening stage, the Community Shield. Manchester City and Donnarumma's revenge tour begins. His debut game in a CY8 shirt, not the Blues. Before the players stepped onto the pitch at Wembley, I made a decision that felt 10 years in the making. Zerato is officially our new club captain. The former ego dictator was gone. In his place stood the ultimate leader of CY8FC, a 95-rated Ballon d'Or winner, the best player in the world. And behind him stood an 88-rated Donnarumma hungry for revenge. We knew it before we even touched the grass. This silverware is absolutely inevitable. Six minutes into the match, Myra went into a reckless challenge. Straight red card. We were reduced to 10 players. The onslaught began immediately. Chance after chance, wave after wave. Eventually, Holland broke through and scores the opener. But Donnarumma refused to let us collapse. Save after save after save. Then came our response. Knifen, the big game Hunter equalize it, 1-1. The match headed into the dying minutes, and when we needed a hero, who else but him? Captain Z Ratto smashed home the winner. The final whistle blew. We won the Community Shield. This was the moment Donnarumma showed Manchester City exactly what they had thrown away. What a start to season 11. The Premier League campaign began against Brentford. From the opening whistle, we completely dominated. Brentford were the first victims, a 5-2-0 victory. Next up was Coventry City, another comfortable victory, 3-1. Then we entered the market again. Liverpool were willing to negotiate. Here we go. Jeremy Frimpong joined CY8FC on loan. One of the fastest players in world football was now wearing our shirt. His impact was immediate. Game 3 against Manchester United. His pace terrorized the United defense all game long. A 3-2 win. 3 games, 3 wins, 9 points. Top of the table. And it genuinely felt like this might finally be our year. Then reality hit. Liverpool, we struggled to create chances. They humbled us. A 2-0 defeat. Our first loss of the season. The Carabao Cup offered the perfect response. Against Charlton, Z Ratto went completely insane, a stunning free kick. Then another goal and another, a poker. 4 goals against Charlton. Next came Chelsea, a much tougher opponent, a much tighter game, and one moment was all we needed. Z Ratto unleashed an absolute rocket, 1-2-0. Then came complete chaos. Barnsley in the Carabao Cup. Goal after goal after goal. By the end, the scoreboard looked broken, 11-0. One of the most dominant victories in club history. Back to the Premier League, Sheffield United. 5-0, another clean sheet. Week after week, Donnarumma continued proving Maresca wrong. Then came Tottenham. And once again, Z Ratto stole the spotlight. He was everywhere. He danced past defenders, created chances out of nothing, and looked destined to take home the match ball. He was inches away from a hat trick. But Spurs defenders threw themselves into heroic double tackles to deny him at the last second. They stopped the hat trick, but they couldn't stop the win. 2-0. 10 games into the season, we sat third, still firmly in the title race. But there was a familiar problem. Manchester City. We were 4 points behind them. Even without Pep Guardiola, the empire remained strong. We kept pushing, grinding out a high-scoring 4-2 win against Sunderland. Before diving into our Champions League campaign, the draw was incredibly kind to us this time around. Our opening match was Midtjylland. 6-2 win powered by yet another classic Z Ratto hat-trick. The King was on fire. Back in the Premier League, we faced a massive test against Arsenal. Z Ratto produced magic. The King opened the scoring by brilliantly sliding through the middle of the goalkeeper and the defender to poke the ball home. Soon after, Naipan completely nutmegged the defense and the keeper, providing a world-class assist for Z Ratto. To 2-0. A statement. We slipped up slightly against Brighton, creating an absolute mountain of chances but failing to grab the opportunity. A frustrating draw, but we recovered instantly in the Carabao Cup 4th round, edging out a tough 1-0 win over Aston Villa. Our European form remained absolutely devastating. Against Victoria Pleasant, 8-1. Another hat-trick from the King. Then came Newcastle. Woltemade scored. Young doubled the lead, handing us a painful 2-0 loss. We channeled that anger back into Europe, smashing Celtic 6-0. We are currently on top of the Champions League table. Also, the club with most goals scored. The attack was unstoppable. That confidence bled into the league against Nottingham Forest, where we didn't give them a single transition chance, while the King netted a beautiful brace. Then came the big one, Manchester City, the revenge game. The game Donnarumma had been waiting for. City attacks, shot after shot, but nothing got past Donnarumma, standing against his former club. A heroic clean sheet, 1-0 victory. Zerato scored the winner. Donnarumma had his revenge. The schedule began to catch up with us. We kept the momentum rolling by knocking Spurs out of the Carabao Cup quarterfinals with a 3-1 win, but dropped our next Champions League match against Strasbourg after I made the executive decision to give Zerato a much-needed break. We ended the first half of the season with a 3-0 win over Bournemouth. 19 games played. Liverpool led the table. We sat third with 6 points behind them. To make matters worse, an absolute injury crisis ripped through our squad. We need more reinforcements, fortunately. The CY Infinity Fund delivered another $20 million. This season, I tasked our scouts to search for elite talents within England. On the scouts list, I found the perfect savior, Declan Rice, Arsenal's hero of the season. Here we go. At the same time, Donnarumma was heavily complaining that our defensive line wasn't solid enough. He requested to fix the defense if we want the title. So we did. Mickey van de Ven joined CY8FC, an absolute titanium wall. Then, the FA Cup journey began. We faced Cardiff City. Zerato went completely insane. He completely shattered his own individual scoring records, smashing in a magnificent 7 goals in a single match. A performance that barely felt real. Then came Brentford. Rice unlocked their defense with a world-class through ball to assist Zerato. The second one. A clinical 3-1 win. Then, Davide Fratesi arrived from Inter on loan to ensure we had enough depth to survive the injuries. We marched into the Carabao Cup semi-finals against Liverpool, with injuries piling up and stamina running low. I started our veteran hero, Hanlon, instead of Zerato. I had no idea how Hanlon managed to equalize with 0 attacking plays. But in the second leg, our tired legs failed us. We couldn't find a single opening against the Reds. And Florian Wirtz scored to officially knock us out of the Carabao Cup. No miracle this time. We then destroyed Coventry City again in the Prem with 6 goals. Then came a historic day at Old Trafford, where our captain completely destroyed Manchester United. Scoring a majestic hat-trick to silence the stadium. But after the game, I noticed something strange. Zerato had lost an overall rating point. The truth was devastating. His father had passed away unexpectedly, at just 28 years old, at the absolute peak of his career. Our captain was hit with a reality that was completely impossible to accept. Football suddenly became irrelevant. He locked himself in his room for days, completely missing to attend the training sessions. That was exactly why he had been struggling lately. When the boss heard the news, he visited him personally. He stood by our captain, giving him words of profound encouragement. And the very next day, the king returned, not because the pain was gone, but because he knew his father would have wanted him to keep fighting. Every single one of his teammates surrounded him, offering embraces and encouragement. We weren't just a football club anymore. We were a family. We channeled that emotional unity into the FA Cup, securing a professional 3-1 victory over Hull City. Zerato scored one and do the celebration without joy but in remembrance of his father. Every goal from this point forward was for his father. But our Champions League campaign hit a massive wall. In the final league stage game against Juventus, in an absolute classic, we fought to a grueling 3-3 draw, leaving us in 11th place and sentencing us to the knockout playoffs. We returned to the CR7 Stadium to face the big Liverpool, the team we absolutely needed to surpass to win the title. Zerato played with an inspired fury, scoring a brilliant brace. But Liverpool were incredibly stubborn, clawing their way back to force a disappointing draw. The Champions League playoff draw gave us Porto, with zero time to recover. The first leg was a nightmare, 6-2 defeat. 4 goals behind, most clubs would have surrendered. 90 minutes remaining. Nobody believed, not the fans, not the pundits. Because football has one rule: never underestimate a veteran with unfinished business. The second leg belonged to Joshua Kimmich, 41 years old general, an age where most footballers are retired. It's Kimmich's night. From 6-2 down, we completed the impossible, miraculous 6-7 aggregate comeback. One of the greatest nights in club history. Our reward was a round of 16 clash against Bayern. In the first leg, Michael Olise scored one to give them a 1-0 lead. In the second leg, Van de Ven recreates his iconic moment. Carry the ball for 70 yards through the entire Bayern team just to slot home the equalizer. The goal gave us hope, but Bayern didn't. They adjusted and outscored our tired backline. For the second consecutive season, our Champions League journey ended painfully in the round of 16. Back to England, back to the title race. The wins kept coming. Fulham 5-1. Sheffield United 6-0. Tottenham to 2-0, where Martinelli put on a show, completely nutmegging his marker to score a brilliant solo goal. By game 30 against Sunderland, Naipan scored the solitary, crucial goal to bring home the 3 points. As the players celebrated, we looked up at the big screen to check the title race. Somehow, Maresca's City kept winning. They were back on top of the league, holding a 4-point lead over us, 8 games left. Countless unknowns. Right next is Arsenal. Zerato actually nutmegged the defenders again and again. Destroying the Gunners with a poker. 7-0 against Newcastle. The captain smashed them a poker. Forest 4-2 victory. What happened next was absolute destiny. Against our ultimate nemesis, Manchester City, we had to face them twice in a single week across 2 different competitions. First up, the FA Cup semi-final. Zubimendi and Captain Zerato controlled the pitch, completely eliminating City in a thrilling 2-1 victory, to book our ticket back to Wembley against Tottenham. But the celebration didn't last long. Just a few days later, City marched directly into our own CR7 Stadium for the Premier League rematch. We did it again. A breathtaking 3-2 victory, beating Manchester City twice in a single week. The celebration went absolutely wild, but the job was yet to be done. Even after beating them, we were still exactly 1 point behind City in the table. 3 games remained. We could only win out and pray for them to slip. Donnarumma had already done everything he could. His revenge tour was complete. Now all that remained was to see if it would end with a Premier League trophy. The boys delivered everything they humanly could. We dismantled Aston Villa in a 6-2 slaughter, followed by a total, ruthless 11-0 domination of Swansea City. Everything came down to the final day. City's final game of the season was the Manchester Derby. We could only pray Manchester United could pull off a miracle for us. Our own final game was against Bournemouth, the ultimate Traitors' Derby. Looking across at their lineup, our former player Krog was starting against us. But Zerato had something to fight for. First, for Prague. Second, for CY8FC. Third, for his father. And finally, for himself. The king dedicated all of his effort. He smashed in a poker to conclude the season. But the miracle in the derby never came. Maresca's Manchester City won the Manchester Derby, securing the Premier League title with 92 points. They were the champions again. We did absolutely everything we could, finishing 1 point behind them. 1 single point. The cruelest gap in football. Looking back at the season, if we had just turned 1 single loss into a win, the crown would be ours. But look at what our king achieved in the process. The Premier League goal record was completely shattered once again by Zerato himself, smashing in an astronomical 61 goals in a single Premier League season, breaking his own previous record of 59. Another undisputed golden boot. Not only that, but he officially shared the Playmaker Award with Lucas Bergvall, with both providing 16 assists. The complete football player. But one final game remained. The FA Cup final at Wembley against Tottenham Hotspur. The match opened with maximum intensity. We won a penalty, and Zerato buried the opener. But Tottenham fought back fiercely, striking an equalizer to make it 1-1. Then this time Zerato showed the world why he wears the armband. He dodged the desperate Spurs double tackle. He smashed home a spectacular brace. He is unstoppable. 2-1. The final whistle blew at Wembley. We are the FA Cup champions again. Zerato dropped to his knees. This trophy wasn't for him. It was for his father. His individual stats were completely out of this world, finishing as the top scorer of the tournament with 17 goals. The European updates filtered in shortly after. Bayern helped us exact our ultimate revenge on City in the Champions League final, completely destroying them 8-1. But even with Bayern lifting the trophy, the Champions League Golden Boot still belonged exclusively to our king. The season ended, but Zerato didn't. He continued to lead the Portugal national team, conquering Spain in a dramatic penalty shoutout to win yet another Nations League title. Standing tall as the tournament's top scorer, he is not only CY8FC's hero, but also a Portugal's hero. Finally, the lights dimmed for the Global Ballon d'Or ceremony. The winner was obvious. The greatest individual this season belongs to Zerato from CY8FC. He deserves it. He held his second consecutive Ballon d'Or high and dedicated it to the man who taught him to dream. His father then marks the official end of an era for our 41-year-old general, Joshua Kimmich. Let's never forget that he was originally discovered and brought to this club by our legendary scout, Duncan, arriving in the twilight years of his career. Many critics thought he was coming here just to retire. Instead, he delivered some of the most clutch moments for the club. Alongside him, hanging up his boots, is handler. We will never forget the magic he produced last season, smashing a stunning hat-trick past Manchester United. Season 11 was over. We didn't get the Premier League trophy, but we built a family. We conquered our demons, and the king had conquered football once again. We will be back. See you next season.